Across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
So that catch you just heard was Willie Mays' one of his many amazing plays back in 1954, Game 1 of the World Series between the Giants and the Indians. They went on to sweep. He got a World Series ring and was really the beginning. It wasn't his first season, but was a part of his legendary Hall of Fame career. 93 years old, passed away yesterday, listed on national radio this morning, the oldest living Hall of Fame member to date as of yesterday. The San Francisco Giants and his family let it be known that he's no longer on this earth. Quite an impact on college baseball. My goodness gracious, or baseball itself. The legendary status that he held throughout the sport. His stats are honestly meaningless compared to what he actually did for the game. But we'll talk about him. We got plenty to discuss this morning, but I know that you baseball fans listening, kind of sad to hear about a legend gone. We've lost a couple legends lately with Jerry West and Hayes and Razorbacks. It seems like I'm having to do this a little more often than I want to when it comes to losing people. Bill Walden, another great example, Big C. So, yeah, unfortunately, bad news as we started What's Your Beef Wednesday.
And, got to be of a certain age to have watched Willie Mays, but I don't care what generation you're in, you should know or do know the name Willie Mays and know that he was maybe the greatest center fielder and maybe one of the best players to ever play the game of all time. All right, that's where we start. The Phil Floats say summertime is here as well. Nothing says summer fun like Phil Bobbers. When you're out fishing with the family, particularly grandkids or young ones, those great floats made by Phil are America's favorite, and they're available in a variety of sizes and colors. Their premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands right here in Arkansas. They're great at detecting even the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and red worms. So if you're doing some pond fishing with the kids or some bank fishing, take along some Phil Bobbers to go with you. Hey, you can find them at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's America's favorite floats by Phil.
So we'll discuss him throughout the morning. If you've got any thoughts on Willie Mays, you can jump in here on the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. That's on kind of the negative front. On the positive front, former Arkansas kicker Jake Bates has signed with the Detroit Lions. Jake's going to join us tomorrow at 8 a.m. Excited to have him on his journey from where he started, not just in college, but now landing in the National Football League. It's really special, I know, for him and his family. Started, I think, his college career at Texas State. Then was at Fayetteville didn't actually kick, as Cam Little was handling the kicking duties, but he handled the kickoff duties. So thought that was cool for him. And, of course, we'll have Richard Davenport on this hour as well as we continue to talk a little recruiting basketball, which it sounds like Arkansas basketball is done for the most part. It was kind of interesting, the timing of Mays' passing. Yesterday, the Birmingham Barons, and I guess the Montgomery Biscuits had this honor yesterday at Rickwood Field, which is America's oldest ballpark. I think it was 1910 when it was established. Wow. It originally was the Montgomery Gray Sox and the Birmingham Black Barons, of course, a part of the Negro Leagues. And this announcement, which was played across the speakers yesterday, kind of where Mays got his career started. Listen to the tribute last night.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some very sad news to share. A short time ago, the San Francisco Giants, Major League Baseball, and the Willie Mays family announced that the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, one of the greatest players in the history of our game, has passed away at the age of 93. He was born here in Alabama, got his start in this very ballpark, thrilled generations of baseball fans with his brilliant play, and we will always cherish the memory and life of the great Willie Mays.
So I had some friends there that actually attended last night, which I thought was interesting, and it was just like almost a shock to like.
Really?
I mean, people just. I mean, you get
What
on.
were your friends doing? They just
They do radio down there, so that's why. And it was kind of a radio venture. They were, of course, in Birmingham, and they were it was the ballpark venture because, of course, of the anniversary. And this is something that timed up. Today's Juneteenth, the ending of slavery in America. So I know there's a lot of significance in a variety of different ways outside of just sports on today and last night. But it's never great timing when anyone passes away, whether they're 19 or 93 like Willie was. But I know for a lot of people in the Alabama area, a lot of baseball fans, for that significance to happen on a special game like last night. Again, it's never great timing, but I would imagine it was pretty special for a lot of those fans that were in attendance.
Well, I mean, certainly memorable. That's for sure. And we were talking before the show. I mean, you'd have to be probably in your late 60s to have seen the tail end of his career in the early 1970s. Really remember it to remember the prime of his career in the 50s and 60s. I mean, there's probably some listening, but probably few in our audience would have ever, they know the name Willie Mays and they know the significance and they know he was a giant, won a World Series and center fielder, and you know the greatness of the Hall of Famer. But you stop and think about it. There's been, I'm trying to think, would it be 3 or 4 generations have now passed since the prime of his career? I mean, I guess if a generation's every close to 20 years, then it's probably about 3. But I mean, he finished his playing career and wound it down about the time my parents graduated high school. So, I mean, for a lot of our audience, for the younger end of the audience, I'm sure for someone your age, you've learned a lot more about Willie Mays in the last 12 hours than you ever knew before.
No question.
Because, I mean, when you live a long, fruitful life at 93 years old, and unfortunately these guys get defined in a lot of ways by what they did between the age of, say 18 and I guess in his case early 40s, but really probably 18 to about 35 or something like that. There was a lot of good living beyond his playing days.
24-time All-Star. That living past his playing days might be something like the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He again had a great Hall of Fame speech. Like you said, I've picked up a lot of things in the last 12 hours or so that I was just unaware of, to be honest, because when you have someone that played in a prior generation that you don't get to physically watch live or on television or listen to on the radio, you're not as accustomed necessarily to what they've done. And then you try and basically cram. It's like cramming the night before a test. You try to pick up as much information as humanly possible when something significant like that happens and read as much as you can. But I bet, like you said, there's a good chunk of our audience that knows a lot more than me. And there also is a good segment of our audience like myself, not as young, but did not get a chance to watch him live, but still knows that name and maybe wants to find out a little more on the significance and the impact that he had on baseball, which is about as great as anyone that's played the sport.
Well, I was reading an article just as we were talking in the San Francisco Gate out there and honoring Willie Mays, and you were playing that tribute. Was that Rickwood Field, you said?
Yeah, Rickwood Field, the oldest ballpark in the country.
So in 2 days, there is I'm just reading from this article. Mays, and I'm reading directly, Mays died 2 days before a game between the Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals to honor the Negro League at Rickwood Field in Birmingham. So apparently there was a tribute that was planned out that was coming there later this week, and it probably tied up with Juneteenth and some things that were going to happen this week at that very ballpark. So he was already in their plans of players to honor. So Willie Mays, one of the greats of all time in all of sports, gone at the age of 93.
All right, so again, if you want to jump in here, talk Willie Mays, you're welcome to do that. We've got to talk about Jake Bakes. We've got still some Bryson DeChambeau stuff to get into, Arkansas's Hall of Honor class, and more on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
You guys keep rocking. I love the show.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is the Morning Rush.
Give me the hogs, Chuck. Give me the hogs.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Are you in a constant battle with mosquitoes outside your house? Well, stop smacking yourself in the face and call Mosquito Joe. Whether it's playing ball with the kids or cooking out with friends, Mosquito Joe treatments allow you to enjoy your yard without the nuisance of pesky mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas. No more itching and no more wasting time on smelly bug sprays that don't work. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com or call 479-202-9960 to get more information and a free quote. With Mosquito Joe, outside is fun again.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm not going. Tommy Tychek, thank you guys for your support, and go Hogs.
Jerry Franklin will take it to the end zone. A 94-yard fumble return for a touchdown.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
It is a What's Your Beef Wednesday, and I know it's 6:15 in the middle of the week. You probably had something already that's frustrated you, irritated you, just giving you like the little, ugh, that type of feel. Well, we will get into our beefs coming up. We got a lot to react to this morning. Again, the passing of Willie Hayes. Willie Mays. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Major League.
You're thinking of
Major League.
Yeah.
Willie Mays, Jake Bates, Hall of Honor, of course, one of our own, Matt Jones, being a part of that induction, which I'm excited for Matt. I asked him, it was funny yesterday. I was like, we walked in the studio and I was like, the newest Hall of Honor member. And Matt goes, yeah, I guess they're running out of people to add, which is the most Matt Jones answer possible. But plenty to discuss, including our beefs, which we'll get to in a sec.
Hey, I want to tell you about Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull, 4 locations around Arkansas, Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, Little Rock, and Mena. So wherever you're listening, there's likely a Hickey and Hull law office near you to handle whether it's a family law, criminal matter, civil matter. I had a family member that needed someone to help deal with a sales tax dispute and an issue with the state, and turned them right to Kevin, and they're going to get to work right away on that. So it's amazing when you own business or you own property, the things that can just crop up and the things that can just happen. And sometimes you need to stand your ground, and you need someone to help stand that for you and represent you aggressively from your side of the table, from your corner of the world. And that's what Brad and Kevin and their team with the experience of over 7 decades can do for you. Give them a call, whichever office is more local and more convenient, they'll be there for you. 479-434-2414. Again, Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, Mena, and Little Rock as well. 479-434-2414, or go to kevinhickeylaw.com.
Melvin's got some thoughts on Willie Mays first. What's up, Melvin?
In my opinion, he's one of the greatest center fielders to ever play, offense and defense. He definitely was a 5-tool player back in the day. I am fortunate enough to get to see him play at the end of his career. He was a shell of what he used to be, but I challenge anybody to find anybody that's ever played or batted on offense center field better than Willie did. And he was also a great ambassador to the game, in my humble opinion. He's going to definitely be missed. Guys, I tell you what, I feel like I'm getting older. Well, you are losing a lot of legends all here at one time,
Yeah, we were.
It was good.
Yeah, we're going over. They say they come in threes, but it seems like they're coming in larger groups than that. Because we were talking just a few minutes ago, Bill Walton's passing recently. You're right. I mean, just seems like we're losing our heroes faster than we want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jerry West.
Last week. Bill Walton, the week before? So there's 3 right there. They say they come in threes. So, no, that's Melvin. That's those are some good thoughts on Willie Mays.
Yep. And again, career-wise, 660 home runs, 24-time All-Star, had nearly 3,300 hits. He was an unbelievable baseball player. And like you said, a great ambassador for the game. Really did, in any conversation, any little segment, soundbite that I listened to this morning and last night, he really, really loved the game of baseball. You can tell, which not every athlete loves their sport. They love the money or they love maybe the drive, but you could tell he actually loved the game of baseball, the way he talked about it.
Yeah. So let's hear from more like Melvin throughout the morning because, I'm 48. My parents were graduating high school about the time Willie Mays' career ended on the field, and they were maybe old enough to see him when they were young enough to remember some of his prime. But like you said, you've got to be somewhere around the age of 70 to probably have seen as a kid part of the prime of his career. So Clay will be with us in the 3rd hour this morning, and I'll be interested to hear Clay's takes because he grew up in that era.
Yep, he did. And I bet if I had to guess, Clay will have perspective on that, the George Strait concert, and a few other things we have to get to.
How about that deal? 110,000 at Kyle Field. So would you like to be in a crowd of 110,000?
Not Aggies. But I mean, you're at an 8. That doesn't bother me, but you're probably at an age, and a lot
Well,
of our
just now,
audience.
the last cars are just now leaving the parking lot. So,
Yeah, that traffic, the pile up there, that's the largest, according to Billboard, is the largest concert ever in ticketed history, and the largest crowd that they've ever had at Kyle Field. They had a really good showing when Ole Miss came a couple years ago, but apparently that beat that. So
yeah, 110,000 and change they had for George Strait.
all right, let's
Eat that, Taylor Swift.
yeah, we've got some more Willie Mays thoughts and your beefs coming up.
What's wrong with you? I want to complain. I'm complaining. I want to complain about complaining. It really pisses me off today to simply listen to people whine and complain. I'm angry. I'm spitting angry. I'm like a tornado of anger, swirling about. My heart rate is dangerously high right now.
I'm complaining because not enough people tickle, hug, or smile.
I'm so mad I could eat ball bearings and crap me beans. It's time for What's Your Beef Wednesday.
I think it's a fair beef to just be ticked off that legends are passing away. Jimmy and Conway's phoned in this morning. He wants to tie in something about Willie Mays and and his beef this morning. Go ahead.
Okay, let's talk about Willie Mays here for just a second. You spouted off some great numbers that he had, and you have to remember also he gave up 2 years while he was in the service during the Korean War. 2 years in his prime. Think what his numbers would have been had he been playing. It's just amazing. He's just amazing. Okay, I'm going to move on to my beef here. And I want you guys to maybe help me with this. I mean, I could be wrong here, but I have argued with some people about this. College World Series, or it could be anything. But they're saying, we have to pull for the SEC. And I'm not pulling for any other SEC team.
The devil,
Forget
right?
You're about to run out of options.
Yeah. But absolutely. I mean, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
I don't hear about it. I hope they don't win. But you tell me, how does it help Arkansas if one of them win? I don't understand that. Have we got better in football because Alabama has been dominant over the last 15 years?
It just
No.
it validates the quality of your league, Jimmy.
Well, yeah, we're in a good league, but if Mississippi wins the national title in baseball, it doesn't help Arkansas. If Tennessee gets one before us, it helps us. It makes us look worse.
I think there's an argument to be made about basketball because basketball was one of the sports that was lagging behind based on the standard, but baseball speaks for itself. You've had, I think, 7 straight SEC teams win a title, I think, every year since either 2018 or 2017, 3 straight West squads. I don't think you need help in baseball, to be honest. So I'm like you. I said before the thing got going, I wanted Evansville to win. They got knocked out. And I was like, all right, come on, North Carolina. Then they get knocked out last night. So like Tommy said, you are, I guess it's
Florida State and Tennessee on the left side, and then they didn't play last night.
Florida State's the lone hope for you non-SEC fans. And if you're not rooting for the conference, the Seminoles are the only team that you can root for in this situation because you've got A&M's going to, like you said, play Florida or Kentucky, and then Tennessee's already set to play NC State. I don't blame you at all, Jimmy, at all.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
I understand Jimmy's. It doesn't help Arkansas, nor does it help LSU, nor does it help any of the other teams that didn't make the College World Series. Mississippi State. We can keep going down the list. Missouri baseball doesn't get better if Tennessee wins the national title. But does Arkansas or any SEC program get better if Florida State pulls this thing out? I mean, you can't be only Arkansas win and nobody else. I mean, then the quality of your league or Alabama or pick any other school in any sport, if there's only one winning, then that means the quality of your league's probably in question. We'll just put it that way.
I just don't think there's any question about baseball or football. I think if you want to make the
right now, but if the ACC won 4 of the next 5, there'd be a lot of questions. Why is there no question?
Because of the winning.
Do you want there to continue to be no questions, or do you want questions?
Well,
I'm not sure. How does that? If there's questions about the quality of your league, how does that help Arkansas either, or any other school? It's not just an Arkansas deal.
But to Jimmy's point, the success in the league the last 10 years hasn't helped Arkansas in any way, shape, or form. In fact, it's hurt them. That's why I always vie for, I hope Vanderbilt's on the schedule. I hope they schedule a lesser SEC opponent because the football team hasn't been helped by the level of competition in this league the last 10 years. They failed to meet that competition time and time again, with the exception of maybe 2 seasons, 2015 and 2021. They have ultimately failed when the SEC as a whole has gotten better and stepped up its that football game. It's the athletics departments, the football team as a whole, coaching staff.
Starts with a head coach.
Yeah.
Whichever one you're talking about in that time span. That's who's. That's where you begin. But there's easier competition isn't going to build your program. I've never bought into that. That hey, let's just take the easy way out, and then we'll have a much more solid foundation to build on.
Well, I think Clemson's a great example that you can use, that because of their level of play in the ACC, they were able to take advantage. They live in a fertile spot in our country when it comes to recruiting, right next to Atlanta. Great spot. And they were able to take advantage of the lesser competition, as was Florida State for a bit, in the Atlantic Coast Conference and beat SEC teams to win a national championship. So those are 2 examples right there that I think benefited from their level of competition and where they are in the terrain of the recruiting grounds.
There's going to be an exception to anything, but I wouldn't put. Now, Clemson was on par briefly with Alabama. In fact, to the point people wanted to bring Clemson to this league. But I still don't know that if you swap Clemson and Arkansas, that the results are the same. Even if I understand the recruiting angle, and that's an important part of it with the geography. But there's a lot of things that are built in, and geography is a huge part of it. Things that happened decades ago that are a huge part of it, that build a legacy, that build a program. Why was Alabama easier to revive when Nick Saban arrived? Because of all the success they'd had before them. So, there's a lot more to it than just got to find the right coach.
We'll pick Steven on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another. Yeah. I just wish our blades were a little sharper with the football program. I think the basketball program's going to be, we've seen the baseball program. Someone's got to sharpen that football program.
Yeah. Hey, brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They are right here in Northwest Arkansas, North Central Arkansas, and Harrison, Mountain Home, in parts in between in Marion, Boone, and Baxter County, Benton and Washington counties. They have a variety of jobs open. You can see the list at jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. If you're a licensed CDL driver, they got a job today for you. So just give them a call, or rather go to their website, not give them a call, jobs.crh.com. You can see that map, and whether you want to work in, Harrison, or whether you want to work in, Fayetteville or Springdale, in that area, you can see where the job openings are. Licensed CDL drivers are in great demand right now. If you're over the road and you're tired of being gone at nights, being gone weeks at a time, they've got a job where you can be home every night, where overtime is possible, particularly this time of the year when a lot of construction and buildings going on, having a lot of weekend time available and back to you. So if those things sound good, with top pay, great benefits, sign-on bonus, insurance, retirement, and profit sharing, again, jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
When we return, we'll talk to Richard Davenport on the McLarty Daniel Hotline.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I made a pizza with pork rinds and sour cream.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, this is former Razorback Jalen Williams, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, The Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, The Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-37.
Lucas Miller.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
71 days out from Razorback football. I heard a touchdown there from Lucas Miller. I know people are getting excited for the upcoming season. I love the setup for the first weekend. Thursday night, get the throwaway game out of the way in Little Rock, and then you actually get to watch real college football that
Good morning,
weekend.
Pine Bluff.
Yeah. That's reality of everyone knows what it is. Sam Pittman's not going to openly say it. Coaches aren't going to say it. Players aren't going to say it. That's what you're facing in 71 days. Now, if it's a close game, then Friday morning is going to be an interesting show. Hopefully it's a blowout, and then I can actually watch real college football the rest of the weekend. That following weekend will be real college football. When you go to Stillwater, Oklahoma, and you play one of the best offenses in the country.
Is that the real season opener?
Yeah, and you're not playing in Fayetteville till week 3. This is a wonky schedule. Wonky schedule.
I don't know about that.
You don't play in your home stadium till week 3.
Well, whose fault is that?
I'm not saying that Arkansas is not blameless. I'm not saying Arkansas is blameless in this, but they're
1,000%.
Yeah, they're culpable for this. But to say it's not a weird schedule, you don't play in your
culpable. They did it to themselves.
Yeah, to say it's not weird and a wonky schedule when you don't play your real home game till week 3, that's odd. Most colleges look across the sport. Find me another college football team that has.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying, you're quick to point the finger at officials in the league office and all these everybody. This is self-inflicted. 100%.
Again, I'm not arguing that. I hate it that the schedule's like this. It's wonky. It's weird.
Okay. I mean, I don't think it's weird because this is what the hell we've done for all your life. I mean, I don't know why it's weird to you because we've played in Little Rock your entire life, and we've opened in Little Rock the last 2 years, and we got one more down there. So, I mean, I don't know that it's weird. I think it's normal. Now, it may not be right, but it's pretty normal.
Did they open in Little Rock for that A-State game next year? That doesn't.
I don't know if they open, but they play one more down there. But, I mean, I'm just saying playing early in Little Rock is not out of the routine, is I guess, my point. All right, we'll get to Richard in just a second. Brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. They're at the entrance to Riley Farms in South Fort Smith. They provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give their patients a better smile and a better life each and every time that you visit them at their clinic. Plus, they now offer same-day crown service. So if you need a crown, you need it done fast, they can do it with Riley Farm Dental. 479-226-3500 is her number. 226-3500 for an appointment, or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Artie, let's start with Willie Mays. Passed away at 93 years old yesterday. You've got a few more years on Tommy and myself. Any thoughts on the Hall of Famer? I wouldn't say gone too soon, but a guy that definitely impacted the game greater than almost anyone.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I caught him at the very tail end of his career, and it was one of those careers that that was a Hall of Fame type career. Even when I was young, and he was special. But 93 years old, lived a long life, and definitely one of the more respected guys ever in baseball, and credited with one of the greatest catches ever. It's sad, but at the same time, again, 93 years old, man, I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's way longer than, unfortunately, Alex Collins or Ryan Mallett, who we've talked extensively about. Alex is formally getting inducted. Of course, he's not here with us, but this upcoming fall, that Friday night before the UAB game, I know that you've had a relationship with him for quite some time. How cool is it to see him being included in this upcoming Arkansas Hall of Honor class?
It's pretty neat. I mean, obviously it's bittersweet, but it shows the respect that the program and the fans have for Alex. And matter of fact, I was texting his head coach yesterday after seeing that, and it definitely brings back a lot of memories. The recruiting process, him being in Fayetteville, and then him going to the NFL, and just the guy that he was. I mean, he was always had a smile on his face, and really touched a lot of people, and enjoyed being a Razorback, and really embraced the state, and quite unique young man. I mean, I remember the first time I talked to him was in Los Angeles for the Simplify All-American game, and his head coach Doug Gatewood told me, he said, he's a different dude. He's a different dude, and I really didn't know what he meant until I talked to him, and it just he was just such a sharp young man, and just he was kind of an old soul a little bit, because the first time we talked, I asked him about some of his idols in football, and he went back a long ways in the NFL, and so it kind of told me that he was kind of a student of the game a little bit.
Yeah. Another guy that we're all familiar with, and guy we get to see every day, Matt Jones, co-host of Halftime with Phil. And, I mean, I don't think he personifies Razorback legend, goes into the Hall of Honor as well this year, along with Raven Caldwell. I think those two guys got the common tie with both playing at Fort Smith Northside.
Yeah, both. I know, obviously, teammates of both of them, and both of their teammates very, very respected. They respected both of those guys, and that's what you like to see, obviously. But I remember Raven as a defensive end, and then went on to play in the NFL for a few years, and then obviously. Matt, probably definitely one of the best athletes to ever play at the University of Arkansas, and just a freak of an athlete, and something you just don't see very often. But I think what he run at 4.39 at 6'6", like 240 pounds at the combine. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, Raven Caldwell's of an age that I think a lot of people probably under, age of 40 or 45, probably not as familiar, but this guy that played in the early 80s, like you said, defensive end, but two-time Super Bowl champion with the Redskins.
Yeah, no doubt. I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah.
And they may be the Commanders, but they'll always be the Redskins for me.
Yeah.
Growing up, I mean, anyway. I don't want to get too political, but they'll always be the Redskins, and it'll be. I hear Commanders, and it still doesn't stick with me, man.
Yeah, it was with Washington, 87 to 92, and won those titles.
Artie, Tommy asked you about Matt's recruitment. What do you, or Matt as a Hall of Honor, what do you remember about Matt's recruitment? I've heard him talk a little bit. He doesn't like to go too much into himself. He's just a very humble guy. What do you remember about Matt getting recruited out of both Van Buren and Northside 20-plus years ago?
He was I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, he was a consensus 3-star, which really, he was projected as an athlete. I think I'm pretty sure he was. He played quarterback, obviously, but I just tend to think that for whatever reason, he should have been it's hard to believe he wasn't at least a 4-star.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely a 5-star athlete. I guess just because he played. Maybe if he played receiver or something, he probably might have been rated higher. But he was, it was Oklahoma and Arkansas, the best I ever recall. But and obviously Arkansas won out.
And luckily they did. We can thank 2002 Miracle on Markham amongst the other great plays. 03 ambushing the guys in Austin, and we're of course fortunate, like Tommy said, to have him as a team member here at ESPN Arkansas. One of the cool storylines the last day or so has been Jake Bates, Richard, who goes from the UFL, now signed with the Detroit Lions. We're excited. We're going to get a chance to talk with him at 8 a.m. tomorrow about his journey. It's kind of interesting. At Arkansas, he didn't really do kicks because Cam was handling the kicks. He did the kickoffs, but then he's blasting 60-plus yarders for the other Michigan team, that professional team. What did you think about Jake getting a chance to fulfill his dream and play the National Football League that came down yesterday?
Well, you always knew he had the leg because, my gosh, he boomed the kickoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, he's one of those guys, obviously got the opportunity, made the most of it, and now he's going to have a bigger opportunity. So that's a lot of credit to him. He could have pouted. He could have, he just did his thing. And when he had the opportunity on the professional level, he really, I mean, he's a household name in a lot of places just because, from a historical standpoint, with how many 50-yarders and 60-yarders that he made. I mean, you just hope that he continues and he's able to be consistent, because obviously if you're not consistent on the NFL level, you won't be a kicker long.
Yeah. Richard Davenport with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Camp season, I know there's a lineman camp today, and the reason I know that is there is a Studley 5'6", 5'7.5", 160-pounder from freshman from Fort Smith Southside named Dylan Kraft that is going to the lineman camp this morning. I'm sure he's going to turn a lot of heads, RD, but in all seriousness, I do know that lineman camp's going on today. There's a lot of camps that kind of wind down the month of June and get some prospects on campus. Yeah, this is the last one for the summer as far as camps, and also they have a 7-on-7 event, 16 teams from around the state and surrounding states. I know Bentonville would be there, Fayetteville. I was looking at the list. I forgot some of the others, but Bentonville West is going to be there also. Yeah, but that Kraft guy, I've been hearing about him. Yeah. And, I'm kind of excited to watch him. I guess you're going to be there today. Well, I mean, it's going on now. I mean, they're on their way right now. It's a 7:30 start. Right. So. It starts at 9:30. Yeah. Yeah. I think he's got to be there and register at 8 anyway. They're searching the sundial out so they can time his 40. But for what he doesn't have in size, he makes up for lack of speed. So. I'm sure he'll be a standout today. Richard, couple recent developments for Arkansas football in the class of 25. The Keandre Johnson kid from, I believe, Georgia, and then you've got the other guy from Texas. Can you tell about Arkansas's two recent defensive lineman additions to the 25 class? Jaquinton Madison, 6'3", about 280-pound defensive tackle. He's the one from Georgia, okay. But he had Missouri, I think Louisville, Kansas, several other offers, and he officially visited over the weekend and pulled the trigger on Sunday, as did Keandre Johnson, who had offers from Texas A&M, LSU, TCU. I mean, he had an impressive offer list: 6'3", about 245 pounds. He'll play the edge. And Johnson also played tight end too, so he's a guy that could, if the line is kind of deep at the defensive end situation, you need a tight end. I mean, he's very capable because he ran a 22, I think a 22.6 or 22.9 in the 200 meters as a ninth grader. So I'm sure he was probably maybe around 200 pounds or something like that, maybe in the ninth grade, but he has great natural speed. So that's one thing that you notice on his film is his ability to rush the passer and also get open as a tight end. And some schools are recruiting him as a tight end, but Arkansas likes him at edge. That's kind of the defensive line, and those are some kids out of state. I know the big question for tomorrow is where Karius Kern is going to go. The Marion outstanding offensive and defensive lineman, Missouri, LSU, and Arkansas all included on his list. Is he going to wind up recommitting to the Razorbacks tomorrow, you think, RD? Well, if you would have asked me not this past weekend, but the weekend before when he visited Arkansas, I would have said yes. He said that he doubted he was going to visit LSU after the Arkansas visit, but things obviously changed, and he visited LSU. Right now, I'm not the most optimistic about the situation. It's
college football and college recruiting has obviously changed over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's just a strange animal right now in recruiting. But maybe he surprises me and comes back to Arkansas. But I think LSU is going to be tough to beat.
Quick note before we go, there's been some movement with high school basketball, particularly in Northwest Arkansas in that 6A West Conference. School board meetings were held to officially announce Trent Lloyd as the new coach, replacing Greg White at Bentonville West. So there's one job. David Farrell, who coached at West Fork and the U of O in Clarksville, and has been at New School, is now going to Rogers. And I was told yesterday by Mike Beaumont, the athletic director at Fort Smith Northside, Cody Wilmoth, who's been the assistant coach at North Little Rock, is now the head coach at Fort Smith Northside, kind of the last hire to be announced. So, RD, and when it comes to basketball in the 6A West and the big schools in the top class, so a lot of new faces that are going to be in place for this next basketball season.
Yeah, and Coach Burnett, I'm going to have to get used to that. Not seeing him at Northside.
Well, he wasn't there last year. Mackenzie Pierce from Blytheville came over, and then he left after a year.
But I'm just so used to him for the longest that I always used to reaching out to him, and he's not here, not there. But and I saw the names announced. I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And definitely a lot of movement, but those are obviously 3 very desirable jobs, and Rogers got one heck of a basketball player.
Yep, and I think Jason McMahon is going to be a volunteer coach with him as well. So they are going to have a loaded coaching bench as well there. All right, RD, good stuff, and we'll catch up with you next week for some recruiting talk on a Wednesday.
All right, buddy. If you're not there at the camp, I'll give you a rundown.
I hope you have a high-speed lens on your phone so that it's not just a blur when he runs by.
Yeah, well, hey, you move pretty good as a referee. So I think he's got some wheels.
Natural speed, absolutely. All right, RD, we'll talk to you next week.
Later.
All right, Richard Davenport with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville. A good deal is never too far away, and they're always online at McLartyDaniel.com. Some of these high school basketball jobs, we've been aware of the names and who they're going to be for a couple of weeks. I don't know that we've mentioned them here on the show, but it's funny. It's just like we go through with college coaches. The board of trustees have to meet, Ty, to sign off on the deal. Kind of the same thing in high school. The school board has to formally vote before these coaches can be formally announced, but it's a weird time of the year and kind of contract month for a lot of people.
Yeah, I saw the announcement on social media about Wilmont, and I was unaware of some of the changes within Northwest Arkansas high school basketball. But with as talented as high school basketball can be at times in this state, you want that for sure. I also think you need to monitor what's going on with Parkview and the 5 or 6 young men that are looking at colleges. Omarion Robinson is just took a visit to Oregon, and just talking about Carius Kern. You got to get these in-state guys. You got to get them. And that Parkview squad has got about as talented a class as we've seen in Arkansas high school football in quite some time. So interesting to monitor. We'll see if Sam Pittman and his staff are able to land some of those kids from Central Arkansas. Hour 2 coming up. We'll talk more Jake Bates next.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This is the Morning Rush.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started, but you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
The name Newmeyer means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
for today, partly to mostly sunny skies. Our high in the middle to upper 80s. Later on tonight, partly cloudy and overnight low in the upper 60s. Thursday, lots of sunshine, a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Friday, lots of sunshine, highs in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 71 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is driven by Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale and online at rathmitsubishi.com. You're rolling with Rath on the Morning Rush.
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
Willie Mays loved him some baseball. Passed away at 93 years old yesterday. One of the biggest icons, the biggest legends of the game. Don't take my word for it. Take his.
The game of baseball has been great to me. I have just about everything I need. The only thing that I'm looking for out of baseball now is that I can teach other kids to be as great an athletes as I was in my day.
Well, based on the different accounts I've heard from several other MLB legends, his impact is far-reaching and as great as maybe any icon in the sport itself. We unfortunately lost Jerry West recently, Bill Walton, now Willie Mays. And you mentioned the phrase earlier, it comes in threes. That's a bad thing in this situation, but one of the greatest to ever step foot on a baseball field, dead at 93 years old, Willie Mays.
All right, that's where we begin here in hour 2. Do you want to spruce up your existing home or start from the ground up? Either way, check with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas first before you get started and find out why. For more than 100 years, the Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has helped local families just like yours make their dream homes come true. Visit myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, or visit any of their 25 locations today.
All right, so we'll talk more Willie Mays coming up in this hour. Clay will give us a probably better firsthand perspective than Tommy or I could give, considering I never got a chance to watch him play live, nor did Tommy. I've just, again, read accounts, watched highlights and other stuff. We've had a few listeners already this morning, like Jimmy Conway, Melvin, and Sheridan, that talked openly about Willie Mays. And, again, you can jump in here this morning as well. One person that I can attest to watching is Jake Bates, who just signed a contract with the Detroit Lions yesterday. We're going to have him on at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Maybe that name doesn't sound familiar, and that's understandable. Jake handled the kickoff duties, not the actual kicking duties that Cam Little did, but he was first-team All-SEC. He led the SEC with an average of basically 64 yards per kick, and a lot of his kicks went to touchbacks. Now, for me, Jake's best play was the Alabama game when he recovered that onside kick.
Bates, and it's an onside kick, and they got it. Sam Pittman said we were going to pull out the stops. He just did it with an onside kick, and his kicker recovered it.
Now, unfortunately, like every other game against Alabama since Nick Saban arrived in Tuscaloosa, you lost that game, but that was a point in the third quarter where you just recovered the onside kick. I think you went on to score a touchdown. You got it to within 5 points, and then Jahmyr Gibbs went off in the fourth, and Alabama pulled away by like 3 touchdowns. So that's neither here nor there, but Jake had an impact in college and hopefully have an impact in the pros like he has with this UFL team, the Michigan Panthers, this past season.
Yeah, and, kickers are getting more spotlight now. They're getting more they're getting drafted, they're getting paid more. So hey, and kickers can have a long-lasting career as long as you can put it through the pipe.
Jake has hit a 60-yarder, a 64-yarder, a 62, and a 60 already this year. And again, he built himself kind of a reputation in the UFL.
Good snap. Good hold. Line drive kick, and it is good.
A lot of the times when I would type in Pro Hogs and kind of get an update, Jake's name was the only one popping up, and he's not really moving. He's going from the Michigan Panthers to the Detroit Lions, both in that area. And I think if I remember correctly, I think they played their games in Ford Field as well. So I think he's even playing in the same stadium, which is cool. But I know that Sam Pittman and this staff is happy to see Jake, who is, again, not as notorious. Most kickers aren't as notorious. But if I remember right, there's something going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars kicker. I think he's in something involved in court. So you might see 2 Razorback kickers kicking this upcoming season professionally.
Right. Arkansas's had some really good ones over the years. I mean, go back to Little, Steve Cox, Kendall Traynor. I mean, you just keep going through a list. But, I mean, this isn't something new that Arkansas's had good kickers. So I'm glad to see him get the call up. I don't know if that's really the minors, but certainly the step up everyone's looking for.
I was going to say, I think they're wanting to be kind of that league in a sense where you've got all these minor league teams to do it. And again, it gives, like you said, a chance to show, hey, you come play for us. You've got a chance at the National Football League at the next level. So excited to catch up with Jake tomorrow. One of the things I have not mentioned this morning thus far is a basketball scheduling note. Rocco Miller is going to join us on Friday during the SEC update, and Rocco covers college basketball. He's got his own website, bracketeer.org. He's actually been the first on a couple different Razorback scheduling stories. I know everyone wants to know what's going on with Cal and this basketball team. According to his website, bracketeer.org, Arkansas is working on an agreement to play Illinois on Thanksgiving Day. Now, Hogbeat has a source that has said that the programs are working on this game. They've agreed to play. They're trying to get other teams to fill this multi-team event. You beat Illinois a couple years ago in the NCAA tournament in Des Moines, Iowa. Brad Underwood's probably going to have a decent team. I know Coleman Hawkins left. I think Terrence Shannon's probably going to the NBA. I don't remember what his track record is, but they had a good team last year. But it sounds like Thanksgiving Day, you're going to be playing the Final Illini on November the 28th.
Does it say where at?
No, they're working on where to play.
Okay, I mean, because that's going to come down to sponsorship. That's going to come down to TV. They have Vegas events at that time of the year. Could be a venue like that. Could be in Chicago. I mean, I doubt it would. I would highly doubt it'd be at Bud Walton Arena. So,
yeah. Like you said, it will be a venue that they go to rather than playing in Champaign or Fayetteville, I would think. And I think there will be other teams involved. Remember, Arkansas pulled out what I call the Eric Musselman Invitational because it was in San Diego. Purdue, I think another SEC team might have been featured in it as well. But they pulled out of that within the last week or so. Maybe it was even before that, but I think we got wind of it lately. And so now that Thanksgiving week's kind of open. We know in December, I guess it's the 3rd and the 10th is when you'll play Miami in the ACC SEC Challenge on the 3rd, and the 10th you'll play Michigan at Madison Square Garden. But this is a relatively new tidbit. And you're going to play Oakland, I think, December 30th. Yeah. So you've got a loaded December, and it sounds like they're trying to, according to this report, load up November too.
So if you're going to play somewhere and you get to, Cal's going to have the largest say in where you would play, city and location. Trying to recruit nationally, you're already playing in Miami. You're already going to play at Madison Square Garden. Where else would you like to maybe build a presence?
I would say go to Vegas, but they've got a tournament there already where Alabama's featured in. I think A&M might be there too. I think you go out west. I think you go to California, like a Los Angeles, somewhere out west, I would say. Because, again, you mentioned Northeast. You mentioned Southeast. I think you go out west. If I had a choice, they're saying the matter.
Okay. And I know it's their own backyard, but maybe you play in Chicago. Maybe that wouldn't be the worst. I mean, I know it's Illinois you're playing, but Chicago might not be a bad spot either.
I'd take that over what I just said. That's
right.
a great destination.
Hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security or maybe more curb appeal and maybe just a better look? Get it all in one with the Fence Man. They can give you both. They've been doing it for more than 40 years. They can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fence Man. Ask about 18 months, same as cash financing, 479-782-3936. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
We'll get into our Morning Rush Daily Question we return and more of your beefs on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. Stay with us. It's the Morning Rush.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Arkansas football coach Ken Hatfield, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is the Morning Rush.
Arkansas! This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen,
Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
All right, now that you've had maybe a few more minutes, if you were with us in the last segment, to consider the conversation we're having, Ty was given the report that Arkansas and Illinois are scheduled to play, or there's talks that they're going to play Thanksgiving Day. It's part of John Calipari's new schedule they're putting together, and it's going to be a multi-team event. Arkansas and Illinois will play. Considering you're going to New York City, considering you're going to play in Miami, considering you got the other things we kind of know about, plus the SEC schedule, if you were going to plan around the Razorbacks and where they're playing, maybe for your Thanksgiving trip, where would you like to go? I mentioned Chicago. Now that you've maybe had a few more minutes to think about it, where would you like to go? That's our Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Where is it important to recruit nationally? Now, I don't know that, if you pick Chicago over New Orleans or pick New Orleans over, L.A., that's going to be the difference in landing the next premier talent, because I think that the portal changes so much. But, I'm looking at it selfishly. All right. It's not cold here yet, Thanksgiving, but where might I want to go, or where haven't I not been before I'd like to visit? That's the Morning Rush Daily Question. Ty, if you were going to spend Thanksgiving watching Razorback basketball in person, where do you want to do it at?
It's going to be cold in Chicago, but
maybe not. It's going to be chilly in Thanksgiving. Yeah. I don't know about cold yet.
It's a cool destination. I was there this past New Year's. I love Chicago. Would love to go back in the summer. Kind of the ones, and I think what's important, and Chuck always points this out, and he's exactly right, and I have to kind of recalibrate what I think about Arkansas basketball. Similar to what Arkansas baseball has done these last few years, you're not bound in-state or even regionally.
Nope.
You can go wherever you want with your basketball coach. I think Chicago is a hotbed for many great high school young basketball players. I think about a place like Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily think of Phoenix as a basketball hotbed. That's not where you go. But there's a lot of great talent in the Phoenix area with basketball and AAU connections and EYBL stuff. So that's kind of one that I've thought about, and it being obviously the weather. You're asking in a sense like, where would I want to be in November? Well, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that cold in Phoenix, Arizona in November. So that would be
it's
one.
Not terrible here.
Yeah. Now I wonder, Cal at SEC spring meetings mentioned the possibility of Dallas. We know that they're going to play in Little Rock. I don't remember if it's come out that it's UCA or if that's just something on Twitter. I need to double check on that. But Dallas has not been announced yet, to my knowledge. So maybe the prospect of this game being reportedly out there by Rocco Miller and Bracketeer.com is a Dallas destination, which I think for a lot of our listeners and fans, Thanksgiving in Dallas is not only close, but it's something you could actually conceive doing. But Phoenix and Kansas City's another great spot.
Yep, I was thinking about that.
The Sprint Center. You're not going to play in Tulsa. You're not going to play in the BOK Center. So those are. But if I had to pick one based on, you always mention the basketball talent, I would say Phoenix.
I like my first thought of Chicago. It doesn't do much for Illinois from a recruiting standpoint. Probably gives them an edge in that game as far as having maybe a home court. Takes away a little bit of the neutrality of the venue, but I don't think that type of stuff bothers Cal. But I think something of this nature, the sky's the limit. Your imagination is the only thing that limits you. I mean, you talk about games on aircraft carriers and games in just made for TV type scenes or venues. I think something like that is possible. But I think Chicago, because of the type of talent you can get out of there, nonstop flights out of Northwest Arkansas can get your fans there. It's drivable. 8-hour drive or so, 9-hour drive from Northwest Arkansas. So it's doable for those. And I think it's a destination that, I'd spend Thanksgiving there having a good steak, some great pizza. And I think fans would attend. I think there's, it's a huge media market. It's a huge place for for talent, and I don't think it'd be hard to get Illinois to sign up for that either.
And the good thing is you have several options for your significant other to say, hey, do you, because we can't go to all of them, right? Like no one can, unless you're a certain echelon of Arkansas fan, which is about less than 1%. But you have, hey, sweetie, do you want to go to New York, or do you want to maybe go to Chicago for Thanksgiving? New York a little before Christmas. Do you want to go to Miami when it's going to be cold here in December? So you have these options and destinations potentially. Another two that I thought of recently, watching Jason Tatum in the NBA Finals, St. Louis. That is more regional. It's drivable. It's flyable for fans. And there's a lot of basketball talent in St. Louis. You can play in the Scott Trade Center. And then the other one I had that we just got a text in, I had this down, D and Fort Smith, Atlanta. Atlanta's a huge way. Think about football. I mentioned football in Clemson earlier. That's a great basketball city with Anthony Edwards probably the most notable recruit to come out of there recently.
Your idea of Kansas City's not bad. St. Louis is one we should consider. I still like Chicago above those three, but why I like all three of those and any of those three, what is Arkansas doing that Saturday following Thanksgiving?
What is our playing football?
Against?
Missouri.
Where?
Columbia.
There you go.
So you're saying just driving from, St. Louis or Chicago from there?
For fans.
Yeah, okay.
Team, obviously it's two different teams, but same school. If you're a basketball fan and you go to a game, that Columbia is halfway between Kansas City and St. Louis there on, was that I-70. That'd be great for fans. Now, that's not how they're going to decide, but, we're just having a discussion this morning. I think any of those three would be great for fans that wanted to do both.
That might be I think I've got a friend that lives in Columbia. We've never really had an opportunity to go to a game because of the setup being on Friday. It's right after Thanksgiving. It's just hard to, but being on Saturday, unless they move it back, which we don't think they're going to based on the schedule, it's done. That seems like a possibility to actually go this year. Now, it depends with it being the last game on the schedule. I know where your team is slated in the preseason, at least from a media perspective. I hope they far exceed those expectations, but you hope that it's worth to even consider to go to that game. Because you might be in a situation where it's like you're not even going to think about playing, depending on how your season fares.
So you're just a fair weather fan? You only go when they're winning?
I put up. I think we both put up with the team, and it's the difference between going and then actually watching.
I'm just saying, this isn't the reason you decide where you want to have that basketball contest. And we're assuming Arkansas's got the final say because of Calipari, but I just say that would be a bonus for fans if it was in one of those venues in that area. You could do both. That's not why you do it. I just think it's a bonus reason.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I'd say I guess they had the SEC tournament, the Scott Trade Center, or the NCAA tournament there a few years back.
They had the SEC tournament there, I don't know.
It's not 6-7 years ago. It's not a bad facility. I know St. Louis is not always the safest area at times, but I would think for something like that, you shouldn't have an issue.
All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at RedRiverDodge.com.
What is wrong with you? I want to complain. I'm complaining. I want to complain about complaining. It really pisses me off today to simply listen to people whine and complain. I'm angry. I'm spitting angry. I'm like a tornado of anger, swirling about. My heart rate is dangerously high right now.
I'm complaining because not enough people tickle, hug, or smile.
I'm so mad I could eat ball bearings and crap me beans.
It's time for What's Your Beef Wednesday.
So I've got a few beefs that I want to get into this morning. I'll save one or two for when Clay joins us in hour number 3. Tommy, it always seems like there's delays with the College World Series, as there was last time. Rain's just a part of it.
Well, not just rain. Did you see the radar last night?
Oh, was it? Oh,
it was a wide, long line of thunderstorms. They're right. I wouldn't call it Tornado Alley, but they're a block away. It's just common that the College World Series is going to have a day or two that's, got storms. It's that time of the year. It's where the atmosphere heats up. It's expected.
So Florida State defeated North Carolina, knocked out the Tar Heels 9-5 yesterday. Kentucky and Florida are really going to get going an hour after our show this morning at 10 o'clock. Then Tennessee at Florida State will play at 2. If Tennessee wins, they'll move on to the finals. And then Kentucky or Florida will take on Texas A&M later on tonight.
So that just to clarify, that first game, A&M awaits the winner of that game. The loser of the 10 a.m. game is sack the bats. Season over. So we'll be down to 4 later today if the games get off on time.
Yeah, it's
Tennessee's a win away from the finals. So is A&M though.
Yeah. It's more of a nuisance than anything. Maybe it's not the worst or the highest degree of beef I've ever had, but it happens every year. Now, you pointed out the obvious that you're in a certain part of the United States. Yeah. It's not great, but it's just annoying. And it feels like, now y'all tell me if I'm wrong, for the ones that have attended, feels like it's always worse when Arkansas is there, actually in Omaha, that there's even more delays and more weather and that you have to deal with it. And I know that's frustrating for those that have to maybe spend another day or two in a hotel room, because it's already really expensive for what they charge.
At least they moved the swim trials this year to Indianapolis. Did you see the pictures of that deal?
I did.
Where they built the pool in the middle of Lucas Oil, or built 2, I guess you should say. But that event for a long time was held in Omaha. They have do you know what the name is of the facility that when you have a pool?
I've driven by it.
There's gymnasiums, there's arenas. What do you call a place that houses the pool?
Big C's got the answer. What is it, Big C?
Is it aquatics?
No. Well, I mean, people call them that, but the name is a natatorium.
Natatorium.
Yeah.
Okay. Natatorium. I did see those pictures for Lucas Oil.
Maybe they built it right on top of the ground.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty unique.
Burton Pools could build us one like that.
It's pretty unique to
right out here in the front yard.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, we need a pool.
That'd be pretty cool. That's kind of one of the beats. I've got plenty.
But my point was, in the past, you'd go up there and they'd have the swim trials every 4th year and the College World Series in the same town. It was impossible to get a room and impossible to get anywhere good for dinner.
Mm-hmm. I do remember we tried to get into the Drovers because Clay got a question yesterday about, hey, where do I need to go eat? And he said the Drover. We stopped by the Drover. It was like a 2.5 hour wait. We're like, no.
I went for lunch. The year I was...
That's a smart way to do it.
This is 2015. I went up. Mm-hmm. I was just by myself on that trip. And go for lunch, sit at the bar, in and out, no wait. Went about 11:30, no problem.
I'm just not
if you're going by yourself, or even just 2 of you, just go for lunch. Same menu, same great steak. If you're going to Omaha,
do it that way.
Yep.
All right, what is it? I've got a couple other beats. What is beefy?
I'm not really hacked off about a lot of stuff this morning. It is getting that hot summertime. It does feel like, the air conditioner never cycles and that, things are breaking down in the heat. But, I don't really, my kids are off a little bit from school. And I know school's out, but man, in the summertime, your kids are really never off. I know Dylan's going to a football camp today, but a couple weeks here in the dead period. So I'm just looking forward to a little time off next week and spend some time with him. I don't have a lot to beef about.
Well, let me see.
Only beef I'd have, so I got a 10-hour drive on Sunday after a morning of golf, playing in a golf tournament this weekend. That's not a beef. That's just going to be, I'm going to have to take it easy on Saturday night.
There's no easy way to drive down through the Redneck Riviera, is there? I mean, people tell you, it's like, hey, you got to take this route, you got to take this route, you got to take this route.
Cut off over here, cross over at Greenville, take the back road, go through Yazoo City. It's 10 to 12 hours wherever you're going down there, regardless.
Yeah, I feel like
the roads are going to be packed. We're trying to leave kind of at an off time, so maybe we miss some of the traffic. There is a new bypass around the Mobile Tunnel, so that helps a bunch. Because I used to get stuck. If you didn't time it right, you get stuck in that tunnel. It was a nightmare. Because they'd have a 4-lane road, squeezed down to 2 lanes, and it's just inevitable.
Do you make sure you always fill up gas as much? I had a situation my uncle was way more responsible than I am, and he told me he was on a phone call and he was doing a bunch of other things, and he said he almost ran out of gas.
Sitting there waiting on the tunnel?
Well, no, he was meeting me for dinner last night, and that kind of thing. And I was thinking about, like, if you're sitting in a tunnel and you might not think of, like, loading up on gas.
Your car tells you all the time, hey, you're low on fuel, moron. Because I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it says low. It says I got 40 miles. And then he goes from 40 to 32, low range. And now I don't know. Now I'm flying blind.
Yeah.
Hey, because I'm going to tell you, like, if you're leaving Fayetteville, I was doing this the other day, had to go down to Fort Smith. You've got to make a decision at Greenland. Do I have enough gas to get from Greenland to Rudy? Because if you run out of gas between Greenland and Rudy,
you're in trouble.
You're out of luck.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
I have had to, there's one gas station, I'm forgetting the city on that section of Arkansas on the highway, but there's like one that you have to go and like twist and turn. It's like 2 or 3 miles up the road because we almost ran out of gas. I'm really bad about trips because when I'm ending a trip or starting a trip, I just want to get there as quick as possible, so I just keep pushing off. I've been on 1 mile left probably 4 or 5 times last year.
What are your beefs out there? McLarty Daniel Hotline is open 877-377-6963. And call or text us what's kind of crawling under your skin right now.
I'm going to see if this irks you a little bit. So Bryson DeChambeau, I think for some people, kind of, I don't know if safe face is the right word, but maybe you felt a little differently about him after this weekend than you did prior to with the live stuff. Now, I want you to listen to this. I think you might almost revert. Listen to what he says about being not included on the U.S. Olympic team.
It was tough for me not to go last time around because of COVID, and it's just one of those things that happened. And, hopefully one day this game of golf will get figured out and come back together, and I'll be able to play. I'm playing great golf. I'm excited. But ultimately, am I frustrated, disappointed? Sure, you can absolutely say that. But I made the choices that I made, and there's consequences to that, and I respect it. But hopefully, sooner rather than later, we figure that out. So this great game of golf, we can get past all that and move forward into showing how awesome this sport actually is around the globe.
So that part, hey, I made the choices. I knew the consequences. He knew that the Live Tour doesn't get world golf rankings points, and that's what all of this is about. Is I believe you got to be in the top 4 in your country in the world golf rankings to get on the Olympic team. There may be more to it than that, but essentially, why is Bryson DeChambeau not on the Olympic team? Because he plays on the Live Tour, and on the Live Tour, you don't get world golf ranking points. And that's how the Olympic team is decided. He made the choice, as he said there, and I'm glad he pointed, hey, I made the choice. I knew the consequences, because that's exactly why he's not on the Olympic team in many ways, because he's played very well in the majors, and that's the only time we've seen him because none of us watch Live Golf.
Yeah, he's a 10. Here's when he says consequences, I remember when all this first started and you had certain guys defect and certain guys that picked to go on this tour. I wasn't as outspoken about this because I think it presented that situation. I was offered a certain amount of money. There's a chance that I would take it. But you have to understand that you're golfing in an organization of people that hate the United States and hate America. And you're trying to, again, fix that on the idea that you want to compete for the U.S. national team ball at the same time being on a tour. That again, I'm not ever going to be like, you know what, I'm not going to rip them or do anything like that, because if I was presented with that type of money, I just got to be honest. There's a chance I would take it. So I think it's very short-sighted of me to wag my finger at them when, again, if I all of a sudden got offered $150 million a year to go do radio in Saudi Arabia, I might consider it and do it. So I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, I think he understands the question will be in future years, because I think it's pretty hard to deny that he's not one of the best golfers in the United States and could potentially represent this country from a talent standpoint. But it's also the fact that he elected to do this, and I think he understands that. It is just a question if that will happen down the road at some point.
Yeah. All right, getting some beefs in by text this morning on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. I know we got some by phone. BE talking about that one-lane section. Have you been up and down 49 lately? Man, if you catch it at the wrong time, they're doing some bridge repaving, resurfacing some of the bridges between Greenland and the tunnel, and it squeezes down to one lane. I guess one beef of mine, and I think B's kind of on the same way, these people that get in the right lane and want to run all the way up to the front.
Oh, yeah, and then try to sneak back in.
And that's what slows the traffic down.
Yeah.
Just get in line, take your turn, and it'll move much faster. But, yeah, man, at times it can be a headache going south on 49 right now, but price for progress, I guess.
Yeah. Sterling's got one this morning. What's up, Sterling?
Oh, nothing much, guys. I'm going to talk a little bit about Willie Mays. And, if you would have paired the Hall of Fame down, Cooperstown, the 10 guys, he still makes it.
No question.
It's just how great a player he was. And and I'm here tired, and I hear other people say, well, I didn't see him play. I didn't see him play. And I always wonder why the caveat. When you YouTube it or see the highlight, read the accounts of it like you would in any paper or anything on the internet today. It's the same thing. You just didn't happen to be going to see it, but it still happened. And these people still say these things about him. And I tell you what, and you talk about 2 years of service in the armed forces, and if he just would have had a normal year, if he just would have hit 40 each of those years, and all those home runs that got blew down at Candlestick off the bay, he's an 800 home run. He's an 800 home run person. Yeah, I mean, easy. And stealing bases wasn't like it was in the 80s. Or he would have had 600, 700 of those if he so choose. A true 5-2 player, I think definitely one of the best, maybe the best all-around baseball player there is. You know, when you talk Babe Ruth, you also throw in his pitching and stuff. And you talk Williams, you talk about the great hitting. But all-around position player, all-around tools is hard to beat. The great Willie Mays. And it's funny. Well, it's not funny. It's ironic that this game today was going to honor Willie Mays in the old Negro League.
Yep.
And he was going to be the guest of honor. He just said that a few days ago that he wasn't going to be able to make it. And now we know now why he can't make it. He got a bigger appointment to a bigger and better room. Guys, y'all have a great day.
You know, if you think about kind of an all-time outfield, I don't think many would argue that. I think most would have Willie Mays in center. Let's see, who would you put? You'd put Ricky Henderson in left field, right? And you'd have to have Babe Ruth in right field. That'd be like if you were going to do an all-time baseball outfield, I think you start with, every conversation should start with Willie Mays. That'd be my three. I don't know if you've ever given that any thought, or Big C, but those would be the three you'd have to consider. I think Mays is on everyone's top of his list, and then because of the hitting, Henderson would be your left fielder, and when Babe Ruth speaks for himself as your right fielder.
Haven't given any thought. That's a Phil Elson conversation, and I'll let him take the reins on that.
Those would be three good ones. I mean, maybe there's someone else should be in that conversation, but in center field, I think Willie Mays is where it begins and ends.
Hard to dispute that based on what he was able to do. And Sterling, you bring up a good point. I don't mean to diminish his accomplishments when I say that I didn't watch him. I just think there's people like Clay, like Melvin, and that others can give better accounts because they actually saw him firsthand live. That's kind of what I do when I set that up in that type of frame. Hey, I want to tell you about what's going on with our friends at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Now, I know a lot of you are in the market for a car of some sort, maybe for kiddos down the road. Have you considered the Mitsubishi Outlander before? It starts for less than $30,000. This is something that I know David and his team are really prideful about. There's a lot of people that out there that maybe you're not as familiar with the Mitsubishi brand. Well, David and his team, they can walk you through all the features, everything that's going on there. I'm telling you, you're going to walk away pretty impressed like you are with the rest of their pre-owned inventory because it's road-ready certified. And they go through a lawn inspection process through their Mighty Key Car Care Center at both locations to make sure that you get that. Plus, the pre-owned vehicles come with a warranty as well. So when you're in the market for thinking about a new vehicle, a pre-owned vehicle, whatever the case may be, check out Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. You can check out both locations online on the websites as well. Plus, make sure you're following their socials. They do giveaways all the time. They just gave away a $100 Texas Roadhouse gift card. We've got our Hog Update coming up in just a bit. We'll come back to the scheduling update report for Arkansas basketball. Jake Bates also making the Detroit Lions. Plus, our friend Matt Jones in the Hall of Honor. We'll talk about some other of his inductees coming up in September.
Summertime is here. That means Gaston's White River Resort's the place to kick back and unwind. If you're on a little Arkansas road trip, even if you got other plans of where you're staying, make sure you call Gaston's and schedule a reservation for lunch or dinner or even breakfast if that's the only time of the day you can get by. They have got a great view of the White River, and if it's for dinner, they got great steaks, they got great fish and seafood options. On the weekends, they have prime rib, and every meal can start with that famous John Boat salad bar. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
It does my heart good when Texas football, Texas basketball, and Texas baseball suck.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with the Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit and $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
USA Fireworks is a leading firework wholesaler in Arkansas with over 35 years of experience, located in Mulberry, right off 64. They offer an impressive selection of top-of-the-line products from the best brands like World Class, Brothers, Winda, Raccoon, Cutting Edge, and Black Cat, ensuring a spectacular display for every occasion. Whether it's a big city event or just a family gathering, USA Fireworks is dedicated to delivering the best show at the best value. If you're interested in buying a wholesale fireworks show, visit our website, usafireworks.org.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. And you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At the toe, it's got a big Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality, price, and comfort you like, the savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear, and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco.
For hard work and the great outdoors.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir. Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Congratulations to former Arkansas Razorback Jake Bates, who has been signed by the Detroit Lions. Jake had quite a season in the UFL for the Michigan Panthers, including a couple 60-plus yarders.
Snap is down, clean hold, kick is up, and it is good. Build him the statue right now.
Build him the statue right now. Had a couple game winners for the Panthers, staying in Michigan, playing for the Lions, which is cool. Let's see, he signed a 2-year, $1.9 million deal, $150,000 guaranteed, Tommy, and a $100,000 signing bonus. What would you do if $100,000 right now?
It's USFL, right? Or is it I can't remember.
UFL.
UFL.
Where he was.
I don't think he built statues in the UFL. So, but hey, I'm just glad he's getting an opportunity. I don't know that you really call it being called up like you would, to the big show from the minor leagues, but that's kind of what the UFL and those leagues have hopefully formed into. And I think they need these storylines like a Jake Bates and other players that do get the call up that will make that league a little more vibrant and a little more maybe one we pay attention to in this offseason of football. Because I'll be honest, I ain't paid a lot of attention to the UFL during the offseason of regular football.
No, there are some notable names in the league that you would recognize for opponents and SEC guys that Arkansas played. But I'm like you, man. Football season and me starts at the end of August and goes, I guess, through January now with the college football playoff setup. At least collegiately, professionally goes into February. But it's really hard to get me to watch other football outside of kind of those time parameters. I feel like while it's still football, I just don't feel the same about it. We mentioned the idea and the possibility of Arkansas playing in different cities and destinations. A recent report from Rocco Miller, Bracketeer.com, has the Razorbacks playing Illinois on Thanksgiving Day, November the 28th. It sounds like it might be a multi-team event, according to a source from Hogbeat. I don't know where it's going to be. I know Cal has mentioned Dallas before. Maybe that's kind of where he's thinking. You brought up Chicago, which would be a great destination. The possibility of also either playing in Kansas City or St. Louis for Razorback fans, and then driving to Columbia would be cool that same basically week. But there no official announcement just yet, just a current report that Arkansas is playing Illinois on Thanksgiving.
Yep, and that'll be interesting to see what other teams get involved. I'm sure they're already talking with network, partners. It sounds like a made-for-TV ESPN type event because broadcast TV is going to be busy with football during that time. So I'll be interested to see some of the particulars and then the other two teams that might be involved. Chicago sounds like a good spot for me for national recruiting. I bet, kind of neutralizes Illinois from a recruiting standpoint, but gives them a home court edge, perhaps in the venue. But I think that's a spot a lot of fans would like to go. And if you play Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago, that area, Arkansas plays football that Saturday at Columbia. Hopefully that's a game of importance and has something that the outcome is meaningful, you hope. And, you'd already kind of be in that area.
Be awesome if that decided to go to the NC.
Thanksgiving's a tough time for people to travel. I can just tell you right now, my wife ain't traveling right now. Her parents are of an age, and as you get a little older, traveling Thanksgiving week when you got family and friends and people you see sometimes maybe once a year, and people don't just freely travel Thanksgiving week either.
I think my dad would disown me, and rightfully so, if I didn't go back to Little Rock for Thanksgiving.
The best meal of the year, Thanksgiving.
Well, this was presented to me by a friend of mine, and it's accurate. If you only see your parents around the holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving, and they may be here and far between, and you do that by times 30 or 40, whatever, however many years you're expecting them to live. In my parents' case, it's going to be less than that. I don't know if they're going to live to 100 or not. I mean, that's not a lot of time, so you just got to be better about going on the non-holidays and stuff. I mentioned you mentioned the possibility of maybe trying to parlay a basketball game with the away game. They did send out the away game ticket request from the Razorback Foundation for Oklahoma State, Auburn, Mississippi State, Missouri. Tommy, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, Oklahoma State's going to be far and away the most requested, right? Just because of proximity, and it's the marquee game of your season on the road, I would say. I mean, Oklahoma State, y'all, I think it's going to be them and Utah in the Big 12 championship. If I had to ballpark it right now, Cam Rising and that Oklahoma State offense, I would guess you're going to see meat.
Underestimating UCF already, huh? With
Gus and KJ. Maybe so. I forget that they're in the Big 12. That's a fair point. But that's going to be the most requested, you'd think, right? I would think because of proximity. I mean, Auburn's a place that I'd like to go and kind of works into my schedule. It's earlier in the year. But yeah, I think Oklahoma State, just because it's drivable, very drivable, from any part of our state, will be one of the most requested road tickets. Going to be hard to get. I think if I didn't go to Arkansas, I would have ended up going to Auburn if I would have gone to an SEC school. I do like that campus a lot, and it's the brunette capital of the world. Last thing here, in your UA Sports Hall of Honor class in 2024, one of our teammates, Matt Jones, is going to be inducted on the Friday before the UAB game, which is September the 13th. In addition to him, the late Alex Collins, Kareem Reed, who I think is going to come on with us on Friday, Coach Van Horn, David Welling, Wendy Willits, Devin Wallace, and Raven Caldwell is a name that you mentioned that won 2 Super Bowls for Washington back in the day. He was with Washington in the 80s. He's played at Fort Smith Northside, got ties to our state. So there's someone that grew up in our state, just like Matt. Both of those guys played football at Fort Smith Northside, both going into the Hall of Honor. And Matt Hemingway is the other name I think I didn't mention. But congratulations to those individuals. They'll be formally inducted coming up on September the 13th, that Friday. And David Walling was a name that we mentioned a lot as Hagen Smith passed him on his way to the all-time strikeout record this year. So. And I guess Hagen's probably going to be inducted at some point in his career down the road when it's all said and done. All right, that is your Hog Update, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, important question on this What's Your Beef Wednesday. Maybe Clay will answer it coming up in hour 3. It's Eating Oreo Day. You've got a choice for an endless supply of Girl Scout cookies, Oreos, or Chips Ahoy. What kind of Girl Scout cookies? I mean, there's a variety of those. Talking Thin Mints. All of them. All of them? I would still take Oreos. Double stuffed? You got it's the Chips Ahoy brand, the Oreo brand, and the Girl Scout brand. I like Girl Scout cookies a lot, but I would take double stuffed Oreos over any snack cookie imaginable. I think I'd have to go Girl Scout cookies though. They're good. How about Thin Mints right out of the freezer? Just hard to beat. Have you ever put Oreos in the freezer? They're good too. Never done that. Hey, USA Fireworks, it's the place to get all your fireworks for the upcoming holiday, and we're giving away $2,000. Ty, all you got to do is go to hitthatline.com and click on the giveaway link, and you could win up to $2,000 in fireworks for you and your family. I know Chris Brewer and his team are excited to get underway with this giveaway once again. It's the second year we've done it. So like Tommy said, it's very easy to do. You will be the cul-de-sac hero. You'll be the hero of your family. You'll be the hero of your neighborhood. I know our winner last year had a great time, and as did his family and friends. HitThatLine.com/USA Fireworks. If you want wholesale prices, which is basically half the cost, USAFireworks.org. The Hall of Famer, Clay Henry, joins us when we return.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
That's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. That's right. Hang on, what? Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. That's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy? Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want, from bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the interweb, Instagram, Facebook thing? I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X. What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X. Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs. Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your number one golf shop for over 30 years.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny skies, our high in the middle to upper 80s. Later on tonight, partly cloudy and overnight low in the upper 60s. Thursday, lots of sunshine, a high in the upper 80s to near 90. Friday, lots of sunshine, highs in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 71 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light. Brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
You know you've made it in life when you have a great nickname. The Say Hey Kid, the nickname of Willie Mays, dead at 93 years old as of yesterday, announced by the San Francisco Giants and his family. Such an icon within the sport of baseball. Hall of Fame career through and through, 24-time All-Star. By the way, he's in the military for 2 years in the Korean War, which is pretty remarkable to think about. Clay's with us. He'll have, I would think, a pretty good perspective, considering he probably got a chance to watch the tail end of his career. And we'll get some more of your thoughts on the McLarty Daniel Hotline in Hour 3 with Clay coming up.
Hey, we're brought to you by Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. It's where I got my Easy Go golf cart just a month or two ago. And if you are looking for one for your neighborhood that needs to seat 4, or you need one like I did for the golf course to be more comfortable and to keep all your stuff there, whether you have a place at your course or you live near a course or you've got a storage shed at your golf course, they can customize whatever you need for the neighborhood or the golf course. They service most makes and models, so if you've got one now and you need someone to do a little work or even some custom work, they can do everything from fab something up to add on a custom piece, or they can add USB ports if that's what you need, screens and electronics and sound systems and lights and wheels and tires. And I even did custom seats where I got to pick the pattern, the colors, even had Razorback stitched into the headrest. So you can customize it any way you want. That's the way I wanted mine to look. How do you want yours to look? Go by Arkansas Golf and Power Sports in Fayetteville or Little Rock and start the process with their friendly, really hometown small business hospitality that you'll get from Chris and his team in Northwest Arkansas. They're just off the Garland exit. Go the opposite way of Sam's. So whether you're going north or south, they're going to be the opposite side of 49 of the Sam's Club there. They're on North McConnell, so you just go to that light, hang a right, and they're right behind the rental store there in that shopping center. You'll see them. Arkansas Golf and Power Sports, 2733 North McConnell, or find them online at arpowersports.com.
Long before Willie Mays was a national icon, he was a 20-year-old baseball prodigy, debuting with the New York Giants. It was 1951, the golden age of baseball, and Mays wasn't your typical rookie. He had played professionally in the Negro Leagues since he was just 16 years old, and he brought that league's exciting brand of play with him to New York.
He runs the bases like a choo-choo train.
He could do everything on the field: run, hit, catch, throw. And he did it all with style and flair.
I felt that people pay their money to come to the ballpark. I must do something other than just catch the ball or hit a home run.
He made casual basket catches to delight the fans, and famously wore a hat that was one size too small.
That way, it's never going to stay on. Fans like to see you go back and pick up your hat. They like to see it come off your head.
Clay, I thought there was a really good tribute that you just heard a bit of from the MLB Network talking about the man that is Willie Hayes and Willie Mays. I keep saying that, Willie Mays. And I think you would probably give a better perspective than Tommy I may have could of the guy that actually watched him back in the day.
Yeah, when you got a chance to, there's only one game on TV, the Saturday afternoon game that was televised, and if the Giants were playing, then you knew you were going to see Willie Mays. And I'll give you a little bit different perspective. When I was in grade school, me and my brothers and kids in our neighborhood played Stratomatic baseball, and it's a card game with with the stats on the cards, and then you had odds, and you rolled the dice, and it told you what was going to happen with your player. I always picked the Giants because that meant you had Willie McCovey and Willie Mays, and you just didn't lose. And they were unstoppable in Stratomatic, but he was great. I watched the last few days or at least the last few hours. I was up real early this morning and kind of saw the replay of SportsCenter last night, the tribute to Mays, and the thing that jumped out at me. And I knew that he'd played in the Negro League, and I knew that he was an early pioneer as far as a black athlete playing Major League Baseball. And I also knew that Jackie Robinson was first, but apparently he was he took the abuse just like Jackie Robinson did and carried himself in a way that it eventually went away. And so you admire his composure and ability to pave the way for future great players to make that move from the Negro League. But he was a hero, and I never tried to make those basket catches. You talked about that, but that seemed awfully difficult. It would just imagine like it's a wide receiver going after a football, and you look up and here it comes. But football's a lot bigger than baseball.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then just through the years, the interviews that he did, always with grace and humility, and that I guess that's where we saw. Ty, you would have known Willie Mays for that more than his play, because they would have him on at certain times. Around the All-Star game, you'd see him on the field, and someone would grab him and talk to him, and you just stop and you would say, well, this is one of the all-time dudes.
Yeah, I enjoyed listening to him just talk about his love for baseball.
Yeah.
One of the events, Tommy, that you had, I knew there was an event last night between the Birmingham Barons and the Montgomery Biscuits, formerly the Birmingham Black Barons and Montgomery Gray Sox of the Negro Leagues. But you had mentioned they were going to do a tribute game with St. Louis and San Francisco in that ballpark, which is, I guess, Rickwood Field or Rickwood Park, whatever it is, which is America's oldest ballpark.
To honor.
And it, and I think he wasn't. I forget who said it. I think Sterling said it earlier that he wasn't able to make that. And unfortunately, we know why.
We knew his health was bad, but now I think that remembrance gets even more attention because of his passing, and what they're doing at Rickwood Field will get even more media attention, which
it should,
and it will. And in some ways, I mean, while you're grateful for Willie Mays, he's 93. He didn't get cheated any days. You're proud to honor his legacy that I think for the last at least 3 and maybe 4 generations. We know what we read. We know what videos and highlights we watch on YouTube or whatever, Clay. But you got to be of a certain age, and you're on the younger end of that age that actually got a chance to maybe just see the tail end of his career. You were maybe just old enough to see the tail end of his prime, because this is the guy who's
his prime. Yeah.
Yeah, by the 70s, that wasn't the Willie Mays that made him the 24-time All-Star.
I'm thinking this was when I was playing baseball growing up, playing Pony League, 13 to 15. That was definitely his prime. And we, my brother, kind of got together with Charles Ripley and Buddy Coleman, and we broke the color barrier at Lamar Porter Field. And I can't remember one of the guys' name, but the other was Muskie Harris, who played for the Razorbacks. And I'll never forget, as Butch was getting uniforms together, and it's like, hey, it was an expansion team, so they were going to be brand new uniforms. And usually when you got Kid League uniforms, it would just be like 1 to 20. That's the numbers. But when you're starting it from scratch, you can say, hey, do you want, what number do you want? And I can remember those two kids, one of them wanted 42, Jackie Robinson, the other wanted 24, Willie Mays. And that spoke a lot to me. I wanted 7, Mickey Mantle, but that's who those guys idolized. And, when you think of, what was going on in the black community, they're just getting their chance to play in white leagues all across America, and you saw all those kids wearing 24.
So you bring up Mantle, DiMaggio. I guess if you go way back, Ty Cobb. Is Willie Mays the greatest center fielder ever?
Well, I think that's pretty objective when you determine that. I mean, Ken Griffey was pretty good.
Ken Griffey, Mike Trout playing right now.
Yeah,
pretty darn good.
You think about the quickness and ability to cover ground, and the center fielders got to make plays that the other outfielders you can afford to play some slugs in left field and right field if you've got a gazelle in center field that can get to those alleys where those other guys, they're just corner outfielders did not have to be great players. They got to be great hitters.
Yeah.
So I think center field is kind of a special position. But, I'm not going to argue. There's about 10 you could say, I'll take that guy, and your team is going to be set. But if you give me first pick, it might be Willie Mays.
Yeah, and my point is, I don't care who's having the discussion. Mays is going to be in it, and DiMaggio and Mantle, two legendary center fielders and icons of baseball, are right there. But I think if you read a lot of, and everybody gets canonized in moments following their passing, but I think if you read some of these older all-time lists of center field, Mays is generally 1 or 2, and most of them I've read through this morning, he's number 1. And I think people, and I know Mickey Mantle was from just across the line over there in Oklahoma, and DiMaggio's speech, those are when I say Mantle and DiMaggio, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Willie Mays, in most people's estimate, was a better center fielder on most of these all-time lists.
Yeah, and to be honest, on Mantle, he played right field when DiMaggio was playing center field, and then when DiMaggio left, and he was kind of a shell of himself when he moved over to center field because his knees were gone. He hurt that one knee when he dodged DiMaggio and stepped into great, and that was kind of the end of his ability to play great in the field. The reason why you say, hey, he was a great center fielder is because he hit 500 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
He was not covering ground like he did in his early days. In his early days, he stole bases, and he would cut in front of DiMaggio, because DiMaggio wasn't as fast in his his late years. But back to Willie Mays, he was one of those 5-tool players that he did. He ran, he could throw, he could hit. I mean, I would say if I was my all-time outfield, and Tommy, you and I have already kind of had texting back and forth, but we leave him out a lot because his career was cut short. But, man, I think I might take Roberto Clemente in right field.
Yeah. That'd be in right field. I mean, Babe Ruth wasn't fast, but
I'd make him a DH.
Yeah, if you had a DH, you'd probably put him there. But if you didn't have a DH, Babe Ruth would be
a pitcher. He could pitch.
Yeah, he could do either one.
A hitting pitcher.
Do we agree left field's got to be Ricky Henderson, or do you go somewhere else?
Man, I'm going blank. Where did Hank Aaron play? He played somewhere out there.
He was in right field.
Yeah, okay, but it's like you can't go wrong. This is one of those fun arguments, and
It's like your favorite flavor of ice cream.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You know.
It's just like how are you going to go wrong with these guys?
Yeah.
And but Ricky Henderson, his walks and singles were doubles.
Yeah.
Because he stole second base.
Yep.
How many times, Tommy?
He's a career leader. I don't know the number, but
he had a ton of. He leads in leadoff home runs, and he have the all-time number of leadoff home runs. I don't know how many it is, but it was a bunch.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to argue with anything you say about that guy.
Yeah, yeah. Willie Mays. I mean, we've all seen the numbers, but nearly 3,300 hits, 3,298 or 3,293, 660 home runs, and 1,909 RBIs in his career, going back from Birmingham with the Black Barons to New York to obviously San Francisco and the Mets that spanned 1948 to 1973. It's rare anymore, guys, and these guys weren't making the 7-figure, 8-9-figure salaries even in today's money back then that they are now. To have a quarter-century career in pro sports is pretty uncommon. In that era,
live pretty good. It's like I was talking to Coach Broyles one time, and he said something about his salary was $18,000, and when he came to Arkansas, I was like, "Gosh, Coach, how'd you make it on that?" And he said, "Oh, they gave me 2 Cadillacs. My home was pretty much paid for. It's like I live pretty good now." So it's all perspective. All done some crazy things, but I think what I was told is Willie Mays lived in a nice place in San Francisco and had all the amenities, so he had a good life.
Yeah, don't doubt that.
But the money that he left behind for his family probably wasn't what these guys are leaving behind now.
Hey, quick word for our friends at The Hangout. If you're looking for a new place to work out, we would invite you to go check out The Hangout. Go to thehangoutfs.com. You can find membership information there for individuals and family plans. We love it because it's got an 8,000 square foot gym with every kind of piece of equipment and cardio that you could ever want or need or use. Plus, they got indoor and outdoor tennis and pickleball. They got a basketball court, and they got more on the way as well. Plus, they got the pros there to help you get better, whether it's someone to do personal training and help you get on track with your fitness, or you need some help improving your racket game with either pickleball or tennis. They have that. Plus, leagues that are available for you to get involved. I know pickleball leagues are really fun and really hot right now, so they have all of that going on as well. So if you're looking for something different, something better that you've needed, it's there at The Hangout, 5400 Gary Street, or again, thehangoutfs.com for more details, fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
So, guys, George Strait in College Station this weekend sells nearly 111,000 tickets. Clay sent me a video last night of Aggie Faithville singing one of his songs. I'm going to be honest, Clay, I don't know if I could deal with that many Aggies all around me in that proximity, but it's the largest attended concert ever from a tickets.
Let's be careful here. They had 110,000 in that stadium. There weren't 110,000 Aggies. People for George Strait,
they let smart people in too, huh?
Well, but the first thing that happens is the tickets go on sale through his fan club. And when I went to the concert at Arrowhead, it was, 80,000. And, you walk through the parking lot and the license plates were Texas. You saw University of Texas Longhorns on the front. I mean, I'll guarantee you there were 20,000 Longhorn fans in there. And they come together over George Strait. It just is. Now, I saw him do a concert at the Cheyenne Frontier Days Rodeos, and his, the band kind of comes on haphazardly. Their drummer comes out there, and they're getting their stuff ready. And as each one came out, they would do a hook 'em horns. they're all UT guys. And he came out and he said, "Hey, it's pretty cool to have this many Aggies cheer for this many UT guys.
Yeah.
And they did, and they cheered when he said that.
You know,
but he's a cool dude.
He
as
is.
opposed to just being a musician.
I went to see Chris Stapleton last week, and there's a lot of similarities in the fact that Stapleton doesn't dance around and run all over the stage. He's not the entertainer, but he can stand there with a guitar and a microphone and entertain you. George Strait's the same way if you've never seen him, Ty, is he has when they set it up in a ring. I saw him at the BOK last. I've probably seen him 10 or 12 times. He just goes from corner to corner of the stage singing, and all he needs is that guitar, the microphone, and his band, and he's
great
good.
Band.
I don't
usually 15, 16, 17 pieces.
Yeah.
He'll have 2 backup guys. He'll have 2 fiddle players. I mean, and they're all A-plus guys that have been with him forever. At Frontier Days Rodeos, I counted how many words that he said during the whole concert, between song, and it was like 15 or 16.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's it. That's all he says.
Well, that's
and then he when he introduces the band, there's a few more.
Yeah.
But there, one of the things that he does that is cool is in the second part of his set, he always does a Tom Petty song, and I can't remember which one it is, but he rocks out.
Yeah.
And the reason we did that, about 20 years ago, Tom Petty was doing some kind of top-end 30-minute interview on one of the the big Nashville country stations, and they're like, what do you think about music? What's happened? And he says, well, first of all, country music is just about dead. He says you got George Strait, and you got Reba McEntire, and he named a couple others, and he said all this other crap is not country music. This is country music. It's George Jones, Conway Twitty, and he went on and just kind of lectured, like the young rock band country, singers, like Florida Georgia Line. I mean, he called them out by name, and so from that point on, George has always done a Tom Petty song.
Yeah. So, but he's George Strait. He can do anything he wants.
But he can do it. I mean, he does justice to.
Yeah.
And Chris Stapleton came out and joined in on the Tom Petty song.
Yeah, he was awesome the other night.
He can rock, can he?
He absolutely can. Hey, we're brought to you by Oaklawn Sports. If you haven't signed up yet and downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, now's the time. You can sign up today and qualify for a second chance bet on your very first bet up to $250. Create your account, make your deposit using your debit or credit card, PayPal, or Apple Pay, Venmo, ACH, even add Oaklawn on-site cash works as well. You place that first bet of at least $10 up to $250, and if it doesn't work out, they give you a bonus bet of equal value up to $250. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
All right, when we return, we'll get into some hog news, some things that happened the last couple of days with Razorback Sports.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Jay Billis of ESPN, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Tommy Kraft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pro.
I think I side with Ty as much as anybody. I've listened to this program for years, the first time I've called in.
And he's on in place of the injured Ryan Mallett, and he has been brilliant. 12 of 13. Dude, let's talk one down. Whoa, on a rope. Oh, my goodness. Joe Adams. There's not a backup in the country that can throw a ball like that.
The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
Tell you what, when Tyler threw that pass back in 2010, I swear we were going to win that football game. Unfortunately, Heisman Trophy winner Cam Newton and that Auburn offense ripped Arkansas's defense to shreds, scored like 60-something, and Arkansas was not the victor that day. We're counting down till football, 71 days out till the season opener in War Memorial Stadium. We've got more football to discuss in the coming months, but got some other Hog football news I want to tell you about in just a sec.
And Clay was talking about barbecue and his birthday and having brisket and chicken and ribs and stuff for his birthday party, and got me to thinking about Art's Barbecue in Fort Smith. They have all of that stuff. Man, rare is that I get the chicken, the smoked chicken when I go in there, because they do a half chicken, and it is more than you can eat. You can fill up a to-go box in a hurry with that. Their brisket is tender. They do burnt ends as well, which that's my favorite part of the brisket is the burnt ends. You can get a burnt ends plate, brisket to go along with it, pulled pork, and their baby back ribs are just, Clay, they're incredible. And I always kind of ask, depending on who's waiting on me, hey, can I get the center cut of the rack? And that's always a little better, or just buy the whole rack and you eat what you want off that. Art's Barbecue, here's their number. Put it in your phone if you don't have it. 479-452-2550. Call ahead. You can pull up to their window. They'll hand it right out the window. You never have to leave the car. Or stop in for lunch, dinner. They got great catfish, too. Burgers. I mean, there's something for everyone. Art's Barbecue, burgers, and more. The more is what me and Clay want. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. They got good sauce, too, Clay. Memphis-style sauce.
Yeah, I mean, not a big sauce guy, but there's every once in a while I was like, man, that's primo, and I got to have some of that.
Yeah, their stuff is primo. So your birthday is next week, and you're barbecuing out for your birthday, huh?
Well, I'm not going to do any of the cooking. This is usually, I usually like to cook on, but I think I'm probably going to be, if you're the cook, it's hard to be the host and, the hostess with the mostest, and so you're going to have quite a few people. I'm sorry you guys didn't get the invitation. I think there was one mail, but if you don't have it in hand, you can't get in.
Yeah, security won't.
Sorry, Ty. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
It's okay.
One of my neighbors, he was a sergeant in the Baton Rouge Police Force, and we're going to put him on the door. Actually, we'll put him in the driveway. And, man, it's kind of like dealing with Ernest Ruppel. You don't want to deal with that guy. But they're bringing some is it boudin?
Uh-huh.
And some andouille salt. They're bringing that up. Our houses are connected by a path. And yesterday, I went down with the chainsaw and made sure the path was cleared, from the tornado damage. There's a couple of trees down, but I just cut some holes because, man, I need them to come up here.
Yeah, that andouille sausage is worth the work on the chainsaw.
Yeah, it's everything that they've ever brought to our house, or we've been to their house. It's pretty special.
Yeah.
And, but Jeremiah Gage from Ozark, he lives in Loveland now. Y'all have heard me talk about him. He's going to cook the brisket, and he's already. What do you call it, Tommy? A flat?
Well, you got the point and the flat when you buy a whole brisket. The flat's I guess the probably the side we most have when you have a slice sandwich. Right? I like to take the point, and then that's what you make your burnt ends out of.
Yeah, well, he's going to handle all that on his Traeger, and then I'm going to pick up a couple of smoked chickens on my. That's going to be a long day.
I'm on vacation next week, but I may have to rearrange my plans now.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty sweet, And
I bet Jean Ann would slip me an invite if I showed up.
We've started a little collection here. There's some Angel's Envy. There's some Heaven High. There's some Maker's Mark. There'd be all the stuff you want. There's a couple of guys that we've got some. Is it Raspado tequila? That's in the freezer. Of course, there's other stuff.
I'm starting to think about changing my plans, Clay.
Yeah. And I'll start off that. It's going to be a long day. Start off it's really starting. It's going to be a long 4 or 5 days. So Friday is a trip to Jonesboro. We're going to honor to the Sports Writers, Sportscasters Hall of Fame, Dick Clay and Charlie Cromwell, 2 old Jonesboro guys. And then next Wednesday I'll do radio with you, Ty. I'll do the early part if that's okay, and then I'm going to Fayetteville for another Hall of Fame luncheon where we induct Fort Smith's own Charlie Jones.
Yep.
And of course and then also Grant Hall, and
awesome.
Everybody knows Grant. So that's, and then I'll probably not stay to the end of that luncheon and start making my way back across North Arkansas to Norfolk, and if there's anything Gene Ann needs me to pick up to the last minute stuff, I'll do that.
Well, thanks for those details.
And then I'm just gonna kind of soak it in. Number 70, she says, ought to be special.
Yeah. Well.
So.
All right. Well, happy early birthday next week.
And where are you going on this trip?
I'm going down to the Redneck Riviera, taking the kids down, going to the beach, and
that's where Gene N is right now.
Yeah.
Gene N and the girls are at Orange Beach.
Yep, that's where I'm going. But I'll high five them on our way down. Was it 98 or whatever?
Yeah. So, in my week, this incredible 6 days is going to start Thursday. I've got an interview with Bobby Petrino.
All right, let's talk more about that on the other side. Okay. Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale, celebrating Father's Day and Clay's birthday all month long with exclusive bonus discounts just for Dad through the end of the month. Grand Design, Forest River, Brinkley models, you can get them all at Wheels RV. And again, extra discounts, and of course, the lifetime warranty that comes with every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV and wheelsrv.net.
Y'all are more important right now to the public than you've ever been, and just keep up the good work. We enjoy the banter and the jokes and the carrying on. It's just a blast.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
This is the Morning Rush.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, The Paint Store, Van Buren.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten on your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Willie. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
You're supposed to have an SEC matchup last night in Omaha between the Kentucky Wildcats and the Florida Gators. Tommy, you were mentioning the radar was really bad yesterday, severe thunderstorms. That game has now been rescheduled and postponed to this morning at 10 a.m. So you'll have that game followed by Tennessee and Florida State. Tennessee won that controversial game already earlier. Florida State beat North Carolina, eliminated them last night 9-5. So that's game 2. And then game 3 of the day will be the winner of the Gators and the Wildcats taking on A&M later on tonight. So you've got a full slate ahead of us in Omaha, the College World Series at Charles Schwab Field. And guys, regardless of what happens, there will be an SEC team at least featured in the national championship. For Jimmy and Conway's lone hope of a non-SEC team winning resides with the Florida State Seminoles, fellas.
Yeah, I tell you, the thing that's interesting that's happened up there is now Texas A&M is the hated team. They had 2 hecklers thrown out for getting after the Florida dugout over what they called a dead bat boy. I don't know if y'all follow that story.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, but now Texas A&M is public enemy number 1 in college baseball, and the people of Omaha have, they have flushed the Aggies, and this isn't going to go away, guys. This is going to be something that that they have to live with a long time. The stuff that those two grown men did. They almost had Florida assistant coaches going into the stands after those two guys, and the security got those guys out of the stadium pretty fast. But yeah, that's the Aggies. They got a black eye right now.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you I haven't done anything stupid when I'm drunk, but I don't think I've ever done anything like that at a ballpark. I can't think of an occasion or anything, and that's why. I mean, I know some were joking. Well, they're Texas plants in A&M uniform. That's just
no, they're not. No, they weren't.
Imagine going to work that next day or whenever they come back, Clay, from Omaha. I mean, I would think they're going to get a talking to.
See your mom or your grandmama after acting that way.
That's true as well. Yeah,
their wives, and I mean, it's just like, hey, what were you doing? And heckling can be an art form, and we know in the SEC that it can be pretty brutal, and I've seen it firsthand, and but there ought to be some humor to it. It's like, our buddy, Hog Noxious, Bobby Smittle. I mean, his stuff, it was never vicious. It was clever, and this was
anything but that.
This was the worst ever, in my opinion. I've never seen anything that it mounted to this, and there was nothing in the quote Texas A&M Florida rivalry that would lead to something like this. But now they got a rivalry.
There is now.
Yeah. And because these two idiots, and I mean, lowest life form is what I would call what those guys did.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Clay. Other SEC news this morning for you. Sounds like, and I'd say sounds like it, I know this, that the USC Trojans and Ole Miss have canceled their home-and-home series in 2025 and 26. We don't get a chance to see Lane Kiffin go out west to face his former team. Sounds like Lincoln Riley is running scared from the Southeastern Conference.
No question.
Yeah. Tried to get out of the LSU game, was not able to. They will play in Vegas, I guess not this upcoming Sunday, the Labor Day Sunday, and now that he was able to get out of this series, one of my immediate thought when I saw this is these home and home type series. I agree with you. I think we talked about this a week or so, Tommy. I agree with you. The kickoff classes, like the one in Mercedes-Benz or in Vegas or something, when you're getting paid a marquee amount of money to do these things, those. But I do wonder if home and home non-conference games will go away because of the difficulty that has been added to the SEC with Texas and Oklahoma, and we are eventually going to get to 9 SEC games. I know as fans we want marquee games, but I think we're going to see more of what you just saw from Lane Kiffin and Lincoln Riley. Whether that's right or not, I don't know, but I unfortunately think we're going to see more of these canceled down the road.
And I think we'll see
how about this? I'm sorry, Tommy, but how about this? Lincoln Riley, he dumped Oklahoma because they were going to the SEC, and then he gets to, the weaker Pac-12, and they joined the Big Ten. It's like, hey, dude, you're gonna have to stay and take it this time.
Yeah, I think you're going to see fewer and fewer of these games scheduled moving forward. We always get these announcements. Hey, this game's going to be played in 2031 and 32 or whatever. This series. I just think a lot of that news will slow down with the uncertainty of where we're going. So the windows on knowing how long have we known Oklahoma State was going to be on the schedule?
Utah.
We've known 4 or 5 years. You got Utah coming up, played BYU the last 2 years. I think athletic directors across the board are going to slow down on getting themselves out there 4, 5, 6 years out.
Trying to get in that playoff. It's like, hey, 9-3, it gets you in the playoff, or 10-2 does. Don't schedule one of those non-conference games. It's going to be a loss. Don't do that.
I don't blame SEC coaches whatsoever because the formula's worked. I mean, it's worked so far, and I don't see that discontinuing with the first edition of the 12-team playoff. Probably going to move on to another playoff. Now, I do think after 2025, it sounds like we're going to move to a 9-game schedule. That's not set in stone just yet, but it sounds like that's going to happen. And
makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean that's, I guess,
TV sense. Put it that way.
Yeah,
and they're talking another $3 to $5 million per school. Well, when you're talking about $22 million going out for revenue sharing, that's probably the 20 to 22 they're talking about, the difference in a portion of that. And hey, they're looking how can we raise income $10 million? How can we cut expenses $10 million to meet in the middle? Though, that I think it will force the hand of the league, at least in the SEC, Clay, to go to 9 games to pick up that money because they're going to need it.
Well, if I was an athletic director, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
I mean, and your head coach is saying, man, no, 8's enough. I was like, okay, well, how about we take $3 million of your salary back? No, we'll play 9.
Yeah, exactly.
That is your SEC update this morning, brought to you by our friends, as always, at Burton Pools and Spas.
3 locations now. They've added Greenland to Fort Smith and Springdale, so 3 different spots you can stop in and see the pros at Burton Pools and Spas. Summer fun is here. Above ground pools by Doughboy are the absolute very best on the market. You can find an 18-foot steel wall constructed Doughboy pool with payments as low as $75 a month. They've got a semi-in-ground pools up to $1,500 off. We're talking payments under $200 a month, and you get a free robotic cleaner. Fort Smith, Springdale, and now in Greenland, it's Burton Pools and Spas. Find them online at burtonpools.com.
So, on the subject of scheduling, let's bring it back here to Fayetteville. Arkansas, Clay, according to a report from Bracketeer.org, Rocco Miller, sounds like they're going to play Illinois on Thanksgiving Day, November the 28th. The location is to be determined, or I guess to be announced. Basically, they might have an idea, whether it's Dallas. Tommy put out some interesting ideas, maybe like a Chicago. I said Phoenix. Your thoughts on adding potentially another marquee opponent to Arkansas's basketball schedule?
Yeah, how about Memphis? How about they call it the FedEx Forum over there?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what the name of it?
Yep.
That'd be a good place. That's it doesn't really matter, but it's somewhere where both fan bases can get to, in a reasonable expense. But yeah, we're going to keep having these TV matchups like this. I mean, and it's Coach Cal's used to dealing with these, these TV guys, making these matchups, and that's the great benefit of his scheduling power, is that he can pull these things off, and they're national, they're not regional games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this game is going to be played, if it is going to be played.
I know you're going to make the trip, aren't you? Behind enemy lines, Ty?
Thanksgiving, I was telling Tommy earlier, I think my dad would disown me if I wasn't.
He might go with you.
Yeah, it's
and his
hard.
wife would disown him.
Yeah, my dad does have a special.
Once in a lifetime. That's how you sell that.
Once in a lifetime. I think the New York trip might be more sellable to him because it falls on my 30th birthday, basically. But that one is a little.
He's angling for his dad to pay for it.
No, that's not what I'm
exactly
saying.
what. Yeah,
that's not what the station. To pay
I'm going on that trip, so you don't have to worry about that.
Well, we'll both go. You can pick up the tab. Go ahead.
How many weddings have you been to?
I counted up. I think in the last 5 or 6 years, it's been like 40 plus.
40 plus.
Yeah.
And in all that time, you're thinking, I'll be married before 30.
No, I kind of readjusted, recalibrated.
No, I'm talking about back then. You thought it.
Yeah, probably. That's probably accurate. Or at least,
It ain't going to happen.
So. Hey, Clay, we got just a minute or two.
Shoot for 35.
35, got it.
I was driving Highway 5 between Mountain Home and Norfolk and Salesville, and it's still just hard to look at. I know they're doing some community fundraisers. A lot of the fishing guides and resorts are donating trips and things. They're going to, I guess, auction those off. I know people are still trying to help those that maybe were underinsured or just not insured at all, that having a real struggle getting through this time in Baxter County.
Some people have lost everything. They don't have any clothes, and they're staying in hotels. So we're going to Two Rivers Fly Shop. Drew Zametto is paired up with the Anstaff Bank in Norfolk, and we have a fund set up, and we're the outreach from the local vendors or whatever you want to call it is in national companies and in some state companies like Gelco. Richard Kraft is sending a nice packet of stuff over to be sold, anybody that sometime between here and June 29th, we'll have a website up so people can jump in here and help with either a donation or buy trips, like you say, or a weekend in a VRBO. It's going to be some nice stuff, and we want to all this money, no administrative fee. We're just going to write checks to people.
Yep. It's a great cause, and absolutely, if they want to donate something, I guess call Two Rivers Fly Shop.
You talk to Drew, and she'll get it all set up.
Yeah. All right, sounds like a good time. All right, man. I won't talk to you next Wednesday, but happy birthday next week.
Thank you.
And I'll
Have a
catch
good
you when I
trip,
get
Tommy.
back. All right, sounds great.
Again, that's Clay Henry, the Hall of Famer, joining us in his usual time spot. Sounds like he's going to be with us a little earlier next week. Appreciate everyone joining us today. Chuck's going to be back with us tomorrow. We've got Tom Murphy, we've got Jake Bates, and I think Kareem Reed is also going to join us on Friday, as well as Jonathan Papelbon, former Red Sox pitcher. So a loaded show the next couple days. Be back in these chairs tomorrow at 6 a.m.
You pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap, or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash